Well, good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us tonight on another Unplugged Live. I have with me my co host, Eric, and Rodney is out this evening. So it's just going to be the two of us, but I think we're still going to have a great night tonight. We've got a little bit to talk about tonight, some stuff to show you. And I think we're going to start off just by letting you guys know we'll try and do some of those, what did we call them? Sunshine reports or solar reports or whatever it was.
Something like that.
Prefix with a star, 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 and let us know how your production was today. And if you can add your general location, even if it's just the state as well, that's always fun to see at which part of the country, even the world, we had these reports coming in from. Before we get into what I wanted to talk about tonight, we'll say hi to some folks in the live chat right after we say good evening to Eric. So how you doing?
I'm doing great. We've got just about everything's covered in yellow pollen today, but I'm thankful that for whatever reason, I'm not allergic to the yellow stuff because man, when the cedars were going a couple weeks ago, it was miserable. But yeah, everything
Mhm.
I guess spring has officially sprung at this point, so it's just about every tree has leaf buds coming out, and I love it. This is my favorite time of year.
We still have snow on the ground, but we're getting close to that, 45-ish, 50-degree weather some days. But today it was nasty and rainy
Hmm.
all day long. So I'm not even going to bother with a solar report from me because it was just such a depressing, nasty day.
Hmm. It was not a great day, but I mean, it was kind of sunny, but it was partly cloudy. So I got 5 kilowatt hours, with my massive array.
That's not bad
One of these
though.
days, I'm going to come in, I'm going to, take that up by an order of magnitude. Just looking forward to it.
Well, yeah, because you're going to end up having that array up before you end up putting videos out on it. So we'll know right away when you finally get that array up because you can be like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I had, 110 kilowatt hours of production today,
Oh, yeah.
rivaling Rodney.
That will be awesome.
So
Yeah.
let's
Oh,
let's say
guys,
good evening.
also
Go
be
ahead.
sure to put star, star, star in your kilowatt hour report. That way we can track it properly.
It makes it a whole lot easier to find. So let's say good evening to some folks in the chat. I see 10 hours ago, Color Maker jumped in. Uh Mike was in there. Oh, man, 10 hours ago. So that was right after it got posted. Uh so good evening, Color Maker. I see Mike, Victor, Richard, and uh, I got a lot of scrolling to do here. I'm still at 5 hours ago. Retro Z Machine. There's another color maker. I jumped in and said something. William, and that was 3 hours ago. Color maker. Uni jumped in 3 hours ago, and they were just going to town for quite a bit. I see he says something about 1.1 megawatt hours in February. That's and that was, I think, solar production.
Wow.
Let's see here. Uni. There's Richard, Mr. Not So Off Grid, about an hour ago. AGT Covert, Off Grid Wannabe. Let's see here. Ron, Blaine, Mike Solar Garage, Mark. Let's see. Red Bull, Chuck, Dave, Jamal, ET George. I'm still at 6 minutes ago. Uh, NSB Reefs. There's a user something. Let's see here. Ricketts, Pedvan, Joe Schmidt, Jim. Rodney was in there for a few minutes ago. And yeah, so he said 110 kilowatt hours there. Just kind of set that bar for what yours is going to be. Um, Opal won, and we might be caught up. Oh, Jason, there's one. John, Bill, just when I think that I'm caught up. Ken, another Bill, Paul, DMC, Mr. Not So Off Grid. I might have said that one already. Jur, Fish Tank, Grace, Engineers Love Change, Turbo, Jeep, Victor. Good grief. You guys just keep going to town. Doug, and then John again, I think. Oh, and Mike G. I don't know if I said Mike G or not. But good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're at 60 people joining the live stream
I think
already.
all 60 have commented.
I think they have. But when you give them, an easy thing to comment on, what was your production today? It's going to be very interesting to see. But before we get into that, I want to let some more of those filter in. So I was trying to figure out exactly what to spend the first few minutes of the live stream talking about tonight. And I happened to go back to a person that I was talking to in one of the comments on one of my videos. And he's looking at designing and building out a system. And he ended up having a contractor reach out to him and quote him the cost of a system. And the first number he got was like 20 some $1,000.
Okay.
Like, okay, 20, meh. And he thought that that was
No batteries.
the maximum cost.
No.
You're
Okay.
exactly correct.
Yeah.
The 20,000 was without batteries. And then the other portion that he got was 26,000, almost $27,000. And that ended up being like 18 micro inverters, panels, and batteries. So almost 50 grand
Mm-hmm.
to install this system.
And
He
that's a
actually
cheap
looked up.
price.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
And he
I mean,
looked
like,
up the
I've seen them a
pricing
lot
for.
higher.
He looked up the pricing for the components, and just the components were like 17 grand.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, he's deciding to do a lot of it himself because he wants to save all that money. And with spring right around the corner, closer for some of us than others right now, I think a lot of folks are going to be looking to get into the solar aspect that haven't in the past, and they have to make this decision. Do I DIY or do I pay somebody else? And
Mm-hmm.
looking at the different factors of, well, why would you DIY versus why would you pay somebody else? And I think it kind of applies to us because we had to go through this in our minds. So I'll be curious to see what you guys in the comments, did you DIY your system? Did you DIY all of it? Just a part of it? And then what made you decide to pay somebody else versus do it yourself?
Mm.
I know in my personal experience, I like doing most things myself anyways. I like to, we renovated our kitchen on our own. We gutted it down to the studs. We built our own cabinets,
Mm-hmm.
laid our own countertop. We do all that stuff on our own because we just like to do the work ourselves, whether or not it's a subconscious, I'm not paying that amount. To have somebody else come and do it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But then on the flip side, if you pay somebody else, you're not having to spend all the time. You're not having to research. You're not having to be the responsible one for the safety aspects.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably going to be done a whole lot faster if you pay somebody else to do it than if you do it. Because as Eric will tell you, and I'll tell you, we still ain't even done yet on ours, and we've been doing this for a few years.
Still got stuff in boxes. Yeah. Yeah, that's
S-
the like the Achilles heel of the DIY space. By and large, yes, there are the guys who are like, I'm going to get it done and I'm not stopping till it's perfect. But I
mhm.
find more often than not, we're all like 95 percenters, like get it
Yeah,
working
it's
and
good enough.
then finish the rest of it later, which never
Mhm.
comes because we start on, the next project that we're not going to finish either. But I don't know. There's so many different variables. I guess part of it comes down to first, do you like it? Do you have any like joy, find any joy in doing it yourself? And if so, then it's like, well, how, well, yeah. I guess another thing that it comes down to is how much do you make at your day job? And are you going to need
Sure.
to
Mhm.
take off money or take off work and lose the money? And could you just pay someone, so there's that aspect to it, right? So I don't know. There's so many different variables, and I don't know that there's any one good answer. But I think most of us gravitate toward doing it ourselves for the fun of it, and probably also for the cost, analysis.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess I didn't think about this, and um, but when you get these installers too, you could do some research from your side, and you say, "Yeah, I want to install this stuff, but I want to pay somebody else to do it." But sometimes you get those installers that they're only going to touch the stuff they're familiar with. They're
Right.
they're not going to install an EG4 system because they've never used that stuff before. They're going to install a Solar system, which is significantly more expensive. You
Right.
might run into that kind of stuff too.
Well, and I had a guy, a local installer. He said I called him up just to get a quote, and he said, this is what I'll do, and I'll do it for you. But he goes, if you decide to do this on your own and you install some of that Chinese expletive, I am not going to come help you. I'm not
Hmm.
touching it. Okay. I
Isn't most of
appreciate
this
that.
stuff Chinese stuff? I mean, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's
Uh,
pretty much it.
so I'm flipping through some of the comments just to see if anybody's uh, have any thoughts on it. And Jamal said that his charged him $20,000 for installing, but he needed that for the home insurance. So that's
Yeah,
another aspect that
there's
I didn't
that.
think about. Sometimes you have to have those licensed installers to get that coverage, depending on where
Hmm.
you live. Jim, I think he's a DIY guy, maybe just based on his comment. Slug bite. That's a one I haven't heard before. Good evening. DIY both of my systems for knowledge and cost. And the knowledge aspect, I mean, if something breaks, hopefully you have the ability because you put it in to figure out what's going on.
Yep.
Let's see here. Ricketts. DIY, no grid tie. Would have liked the grid tie, but less inspections and permits. Yeah. Rodney's favorite words, inspections and permits. Ron said he did a small DIY system just to get into solar. And I think a lot of us even started that way. A car battery and a Walmart inverter or a
Hmm.
Amazon special inverter and, a 100-watt panel just to connect things up, see how it goes.
Yep.
So Blaine, I was quoted $55,000 to install in 2019.
Hmm.
Better components from Signature Solar was only $14,000.
Oof. It's a lot of labor costs. I thought the
It
tractor was
is.
expensive to get fixed.
I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but normally when think of um, paying somebody to do a job, I roughly figure out what the materials will be and then you double it. And that kind of gets you in the ballpark, at least for some things, um, but not for solar.
Mm.
It's always like 130 to 150% for solar, it seems. Let's see here. Doug says DIY for all of it, uh, from 2002 generation panels, 4 gen batteries, 4 gen inverters, and 3 gen charge controllers, all same wires. Uni says DIY for all, spend less and learn stuff. Yep. And I mean, a lot of it boils down to time because how much time, this would be a scary one. How much time do you think you actually spent in installing this stuff and
Oh
learning about
man.
it?
Uh, I mean, I could probably have gone to Taco Bell and made more money, but
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I have no idea. Hundreds of hours,
Hmm.
dozens and dozens of weeks, if not months. So I don't know. That's a great, but it's also a hobby.
It is.
So looking
It
at it that
is.
way,
And any hobbies you spend a lot of time in and they're always expensive. Um,
there are very few hobbies that can pay themselves back, though. Right? I mean, you get into flying model airplanes. Nah, you're not getting any money out of that, right? I mean,
mhm.
it's my assumption. You get into doing pretty much anything, right? Collecting stamps or whatever, like unless you just happen to find that one that you can then resell, but you're not going to because you're the collector. And I don't know. Um, but at least with this hobby, 5, 6, maybe 7 years into the future, it's paying for itself. It's great. And then pays you
Yeah,
back.
I guess I didn't think about that one either because yeah, you can. I mean, it's going to happen either way, whether you DIY it or you pay somebody to install it, but you're going to get a return on investment a whole lot faster uh, when you DIY, just because that
Right.
price is so much lower. Chuck said that he DIY'd his entire system and he wanted to know as much about the system so that he would know how to fix it if there was a problem.
Yeah, that is another thing. Like you can't undersell intimately knowing the system.
Hmm.
When my dad purchased a sawmill years ago, and most of the time you purchase a sawmill from one of the big brands, and it just shows up being towed behind a truck, and they drop it off at a portable mill. Not this one. Oh no, no, no! It came in. I think it came on 3 pallets in, I don't know, like 90 boxes with
Some assembly required.
1,000 complete assembly required. The only thing that didn't need to be assembled was the engine. Everything else, everything else
It's a giant
was,
erector
I mean,
set.
I'm talking there were probably, I bet there was 10 gallons of just bolts, like of a kind. And I mean, it was insane. But it was such a fun project, and we intimately know that sawmill. It's just,
Hmm.
know everything about it. And know why that part's on there and what it does.
Right. Yeah. And it's another aspect of these systems. Why do you have to plug this in here? What does the communication cable actually do if you use them? Um,
Mhm.
let's see here. DMI DIY all the way. I think this was the that high voltage one from last week, wasn't it, Eric? Um,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah, he's
talking
got
about the Solus, the 3 Solus
the
inverters.
DIY high voltage battery.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. I still hadn't gotten to check out your channel. I'm going to open that up right now. The new tab.
Yeah, new tab. Victor
Yeah.
says DIY. Ricketts says that solar companies are dying off left and right. Good luck getting someone to service an installed system after the sale.
Mm.
You know, it's funny because we just had one close in my area. They've been around for, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years. I drive by it every day to take my son to school. And there was a big sign one day saying, warehouse sale, everything must go. And they didn't
Mm.
open up in time for me to actually stop in because every time I'm driving by, they're closed. So I tried emailing
Mhm.
them multiple times. Hey, what do you got? What are you selling? You know,
Mhm.
thinking maybe I can get some mounts or panels or something. And I
Something.
could
Yeah.
never get them to install me or I could never get them to reply back to me.
Reply. Maybe that's why they went out of business.
It probably is.
Mm.
Yeah, this is another good point that Uni has. You can't really trust anyone to maintain it long term other than yourself.
Mm.
Off grid wannabe. 11 years ago, I had to get an engineer to sign to grid tie my end phase inverters. It was expensive at $30,000 for 8 kilowatt. Since then, the next 9 kilowatt was DIY and much cheaper and off grid.
Mm.
Don't we have a picture from him?
We
Is that
do.
who it was? This might be a
I
good
think it was. Yeah.
was yeah. Some of
Maybe.
these
Yeah.
screen
Yeah. It's off
names
grid
are
one week.
very close. So let's
Yeah.
speaking of off grid wannabe, let's throw this up here. He sent this into us today. He's got just a little bit of snow. Um,
Yeah. Tiny snow problem.
tiny
Yeah.
bit. I mean, I, I was looking at this earlier and I was hoping that it's just the angle that the picture was taken and not the fact that the snow is almost touching the eave. Um, but
Where are we at?
there's a point in this. Yeah, trying to show the driveway marker right here. Almost completely buried, and those are what 3 feet out of the ground usually. So lots
But
and
he said he's got
lots
some panels clear.
of snow. Yeah, and that's thick stuff on top too. Yeah, it's almost like playing Where's Waldo? Where's the house?
Hmm. Man, how does the greenhouse not collapse under that? I guess the snow just sloughs off to the sides.
Yeah, it
I mean,
it
I would have
builds up.
thought,
If you look at the sides, you see it's kind of like
yeah.
building up.
No,
I think the
I'm trying
warmer
to think
air
back
on
to
the
it.
inside helps keep it from sticking, and then it just ends up sliding off.
Hmm. Crazy.
Yeah,
Cool. Thanks for sending that in.
that yeah, that's I haven't had that much snow yet this year, and I'm kind of glad.
I've never had that much snow, and I'm very grateful.
Oh, y'all would die if you had that much snow, wouldn't you?
We would. I mean, other than the fact that we would get extra insulation, you know, but yeah, it would
Yeah,
certainly knock out the power for everything. Everyone would be without power. Be no good.
I don't know where I was at to in some of these comments, but I'm seeing just an overabundance of DIY, which again, I knew that it's a DIY solar live stream. So we're going to have a majority, but I also knew that there was going to be some folks that have had systems installed in the past, and even maybe some that might stumble upon this live stream that are looking to install something this year. Um, DIY still working on it for the last 4 years, but up and running. Quoted $60,000 from a door-to-door salesman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Follow up here.
Paid 4,000, or paid for the 4 kilowatt on grid, as I needed the permits for contractor that worked with the electric company. 15 kilowatt and batteries are all DIY.
Nice.
It does seem to be a pattern, though, for those that have paid for systems in the past. It's normally a smaller system, and it might not have any battery integration. And then they realized, like many do, that when you get these door-to-door people coming by selling you solar, they don't tell you that, yeah, when the grid goes down, so does your rooftop solar. So then you have to look at battery installation, trying to utilize the 10 to 12,000 watts of solar on your roof when the grid is down. I always thought that was one of the shadiest things in the world, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get off on that aspect right now. But yeah, Gavin said thousands of hours spent learning
Yeah.
and installing.
Yeah, Gavin, he hires people to do all his work. Yeah.
I think I saw, I don't remember where it was, but Mike from Mike's Solar Garage says, are we talking time with YouTube or just time with solar? And I'm just talking time with solar, because it's going to be double or more than that when you're talking to
Mm-hmm.
YouTube as well. This is just a fun comment, though. Scott's Copter's first winter with solar, and now he needs to upgrade.
Yeah.
Where a lot of us are in the same boat, and it's not even the first winter.
Mm-hmm.
Off Grid Wannabe says that he's still spending hundreds of hours a week. And Turbo Jeep. DIY started because I wanted backup power for the sump pump, and then kept adding to it.
Mm-hmm.
That would be another fun question to ask sometime. I won't ask it tonight, but what was your first off-grid device that you wanted to power?
Mm.
You know, that would be interesting to see what folks come up with.
I will tell you
pump.
the first one that I wanted to power, and the thing that got us into this, was the well pump. And we're still working on it.
You went all in then.
But yeah, well, so I mean, I started with some smaller systems, right? But as far as like outside of just charging my phones from a battery, a car battery, as soon as I stepped up from that, the first thing was the well pump, because there's virtually, like, aside from getting a 20 kW PTO driven generator for the tractor, it just I wasn't going to find anything to run it. So that was the catalyst for us.
Ken said he DIY'd all of it. 14 kilowatt grid tied system. Had to learn some code and work with the power company. NSB Reefs, he's a marine electrician by trade and never paid attention to solar because it reminded him of work. Now he's digging it. That's awesome, though. Let's see here. John said he DIY'd his system 3.5 years ago, and it's still not done. Yep, right here. Still adding things.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these, it's fun to, because we've seen pictures of some of these systems as they come across. I built our system also. This is Steven, 15 kilowatt hours of solar, 60 kilowatt hours of battery, and an EG4 18K PV. Pretty sure Steven's up here in Michigan too. I think he's just on the opposite side of the state. Trying to.
We should have had a prefix so we could just search for
Yeah,
it.
I should have, but sometimes with some of this stuff, it's just hard to find altogether. So, all right, I think I'm fairly caught up. I'm sure I missed stuff, and if I did, I apologize. I do want to get to some of those sunshine reports that we've had from folks. There's a couple of them. Just seeing. So, Eric, you said you had what, 5 or 6 kilowatt hours today?
5, straight up 5.
Okay. Uni said that he had 55 kilowatt hours in North Carolina. AGT Covert 9.4 in central Indiana. This is all this hopefully this will help us figure out where some of these folks are too.
That's right.
Joe,
We're making a map of
9
it.
kilowatts in southeastern Wisconsin. Off-grid wannabe, 30 kilowatt hours in central Ontario. That's I thought he was Canada.
Yeah. That wasn't Florida.
Yeah. Let's see. Rodney. I know Rodney's North Carolina, 110 kilowatt hours. Is that the most so far? Yep. Looks like it.
Yep.
Chuck, 34.4 kilowatt hours in East Texas.
Oh, yeah.
We've got E.T. George, 45 kilowatt hours in East Texas.
Woo.
We're getting
Got a
lot
little more
of
sun than I did.
Texas representation here. Let's see here. Ped Van, 26 kilowatt hours in Houston.
Houston. Also East Texas, unofficially.
This is not bad. 27.4 kilowatt hours in northern Michigan. Now, is that UP Michigan or is that just northern Michigan? I'm guessing it's just northern Michigan because he would say in the UP otherwise. Ken had 74 kilowatt hours in Houston. NSB Reef, 6 kilowatt hours in Florida.
Either a rainy day or just smaller array.
Yeah. 34 kilowatt hours in eastern Kentucky with rain all day. Man, I wish I could get that much when it's raining.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive. I can only imagine the size of the array. Red Bull had 9.5 kilowatt hours. Paul had 4 kilowatt hours. Yeah. Ann Arbor. Same general area as I am. Just rain and storms all day. Florida, Color Maker, 68.8 kilowatt hours. Jim at 2.9 kilowatt hours. Boy, I see what you were saying last week about these transitions just being so slow.
It's just sluggish. We got to speed that up.
Yep. Mr. Not So Off Grid, 4.7 kilowatt hours out of a 2.2 kilowatt array. Mike Solar Garage, 59 kilowatt hours. Batteries are fully
I was
charged.
gonna say you got a much larger array than that, so I guess
Yeah,
just because
well,
they're fully charged, you
he's
clipped
isn't
it.
he's adding more too, isn't he?
I haven't
I
seen
thought
that.
he's thought he said during one of our, maybe if it was the videos, maybe it was the stream that he was on here, that he was going to add more. Jer had rain the last 4 days, but 9 kilowatt hours in Philly. Misery was miserable. 5 days of 5 kilowatt hours for Engineer Loves Change.
Mm.
I'm kind of surprised to see more Michigan folks in here. Turbo Jeep, 3.5 kilowatt hours in Southeast Michigan. Victor said 9 kilowatt hours. John in Wisconsin, 4.5 kilowatt hours. 52 Gulf Papa, 19.4 kilowatt hours. Bill, only 21. Only 21.4
I'd be happy with
kilowatt
21.
hours. Oh, I'd love that. I think 21 was like the first good sunny day I had this year. And lastly, Doug, 23 kilowatt hours today in Utah. Oh, and then Grace just jumped in. 4.8 kilowatt hours out of a 2.4 kilowatt array in Western Maryland. So Eric and I were talking about a way to even
Mhm.
keep track a little bit more of these sunshine reports.
Yeah, we got
That
to
we
come up
might
with something
look at
creative.
messing with. Yeah, might be interesting.
Especially as this grows, we'll end up having a 15-minute segment of us just reading them off one at a time, which is it's fun every once in a while, but
It's
it'll
fun.
get old. It can't take up the whole
Hmm.
thing. So we got to come up with a way to get it all to come in and display it. So we got some things in the works potentially.
We're gonna try and see if we can develop something similar to um, that question or the poll system that we've used in the past on the live stream, to where you can put little keywords or something in, and maybe it'll drop a pin on a map and just show approximate numbers or something.
Mhm. Yep.
So we'll play around with that and see what we can come up with.
In our spare
Um,
time.
yeah, sure. All the spare time, between our solar hobby and all that kind of stuff. I saw it mentioned already at least once, but if you did not see it, EG4 did drop their cost for their 12,000 XP. I saw it both on Current Connected site as well as Signature Solar's. So the normal cost for the 12,000 XP is $2,500,
Mhm.
and they dropped the price down to $1,899. Let me see if I can pull this up here real fast. Share my screen and add it. So yeah, they dropped the price from $2,589 down to $1,899. And then
Man,
this was the other thing that I saw. The 6,000 XP is only $270 less than the 12,000 XP.
that's crazy.
And
Like
it's not
there's
just one
virtually
company
no
doing it.
yeah,
Yeah, there's
no
no
point.
difference.
No point.
No.
Like, oh man. Like I would have can you imagine if you purchased one of these things just a month ago? Hopefully no one in the audience has, but
I
man.
have seen
And then
comments
also,
of some.
oh no, even worse would be having purchased the 6,000 XP a month ago.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be
Gosh.
much worse.
Like I don't think in a good conscience could recommend the 6000 XPs anymore. Oh, well, Donnie's Donnie's about to add one. So,
Yeah.
aside from expanding what you've already got, man, what a beast for just a couple $100 more.
And I seem to recall that is it almost twice the size though?
Uh, no, no, it's not. It's definitely not twice the size. I mean, mine's still in the box, but it's I'm looking at the size of the box right there, and
Okay.
the size of my 6000. It's not, definitely not. I mean, it's larger.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe if space is a limitation, you look at the
Yeah,
6,000, or if you don't need the output, but again, for $270, get the bigger one anyways if you've got the space
yeah,
for it.
yeah.
Let's see here. What do we got? Cuz I don't have one of these. So, uh it's not
Never been a better
numbers that
time.
are in the back of my head, but max continuous output 12 kilowatts, peak power 18 kilowatts for 5 seconds, 2 MPPTs with pairs, voltage range 120 to 385. Okay, so 35 amp MPPT usable, which is pretty high because most are like in the 20s. Short circuit, so you can short circuit up, you can go up to 44-ish. Max discharge 250. So 100 amp grid bypass. Yeah, that's I was just flat out shocked when I saw that they dropped that
Yeah,
much.
and that's not just like, oh, we shaved $50 off the price. Like Apple comes out
Yeah.
and releases all of their new computers, and they're more expensive, with exception to that Neo, which is, but anyway. But here, EG4, no, obviously it's not a new product, but that's such a big price cut. It's hard to ignore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so when I see that, my mind, I'm not saying this is true. So let me just get that out there right now.
Yeah.
But
But
my
no,
mind
no context.
goes to two directions. Um, Either they're trying to sell out of their stock uh, because they're bringing something new out, or are they trying to make it the newer thing so they can phase out the 6000 XP? I don't I don't really see either of those holding water because the 6000 XP is just loved by almost everybody that uses it.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know of anything new coming out. I mean, we went to the show last year, and I don't remember seeing anything that was supposed to be some replacement for the 12,000 XP. So maybe it's just because more of it's being built in the US. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's all speculation.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they need to release a US based version, or a US assembled, or but even then, you couldn't then go, okay, we're gonna now have a new 12,000 XP that's made in America, and so we blew
Yeah.
through this at a lower price, and now this new one's gonna
And
be
then
$3,800.
mhm,
Like, no, 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 that doesn't work. Uh,
yeah. But it was still like shocking to see.
yeah,
Like if you see it on one site, you're like, all right, somebody's getting fired because that was a big typo.
right.
But but then you see it on multiples and you're like, oh shoot, they actually did drop it that much.
Hmm. The answer here is no. Can you parallel two 12,000 XPs with original? Um, oh wait, parallel a V2 12,000 XP with original 12,000 XP. I'm almost certain you can.
I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah.
I read that at first for some reason, a 6,000 XP to a 12,000 XP, because my mom
Oh,
was thinking about that a second ago, and that is absolutely no, you cannot.
so we've got 15 minutes left, and I do want to jump into some of these QQQs. There's only a handful of them, and a lot of them are just comments based on what we were talking about earlier. Mike Solar Garage said, "Are we still working on our solar setups because it's not done, or is it because it's our addiction?"
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to justify it. It's,
Mhm.
it's ever growing. It's not that it's not done. It's ever evolving.
Mhm.
Jim said, and make sure your wife knows how to operate it. So I think that was talking about
Mm.
when we said that we're like the insurance or we're the repairmen for our DIY
Mhm.
installed systems. And yeah, that you definitely need to make sure that your wife, and we actually had a live stream about that, what, a month ago.
About 3-4 weeks back. Yeah.
Mhm. Blaine wants to know what model your erector set is.
Yeah. It is a Norwood Lumbermate HD 36, I believe. Yeah. It's
Big
it's a
monster.
it's a great sawmill. It's all manual. Everything from Lumbermate, I mean, from Norwood is like forever backwards compatible. At least that's the way they presented themselves. So at any point, you can go ahead and add on stuff. In fact, I've just purchased some more parts for it recently. I've also just purchased a tooth setter and um, sharpening system that I'll be doing a review on at some point, um, which I'm kind of excited about that. So yeah, it's a great system. It's just you don't pay for that's the thing. You can buy the Norwood, or you can go pay the other guys to have them put the labor in and build it for you. So we chose to go this route.
You'll learn all about it. DMI said he DIY'd his own precision wireless shunt this past week so that he can have very high state of charge precision down to 3 decimal points.
Wow,
DIY everything. That's pretty
that's
slick.
that's impressive.
And so I am assuming, because DMI has a YouTube channel, I have seen he's got racks of high voltage DIY cells that he has assembled, that he's probably going to be adding that content to his channel. So if you're interested in how he did his own wireless shunt, jump on over there. And if he wasn't planning on putting it on his channel, he has to now because he told us about
Yeah,
it.
that's right. I don't see it on last video was 3 months back, so not this one yet.
Yeah, if he's like any of the rest of us, we'll talk about something, but it's not going to be done for a little while editing. So we were Jim's comment is in response to talking about the rooftop solar having no batteries and stuff like that. He's like, the reason is to cut your energy costs, but it never really reduces anything. And I think a lot of that is just due to pricing of what it costs. And even then, you've got leasing programs and repayment and who owns it to deal with, and too much paperwork, too much money. Now we have this under a QQQ, but James said that he had 10.5 kilowatt hours in northern Wisconsin. And then I'd have to throw this one up. Grace said, how do you know when a Michigander is from the UP? They will tell you. Ain't that the truth? So I got through all the questions. I got through all the stars, I believe, all the little sunshine reports. But it is
Sorry. We just I just watched Remember the Titans with my boys 2 nights ago for the first time.
Okay.
Great movie. But every time you say Sunshine Report, I'm going, Sunshine. I don't know if you remember the movie, but anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what goes through my head every time you say it. So
Sunshine, sunshine. Uh, oh, here we go. He said soon he'll have that video up. So as
all
long as it's
right.
not a Rodney soon, we'll be great. So I will say that since we saw that price reduction in the 12,000 XPs, if it's something that you're looking to add to your system because of that savings that's out there now, we do have affiliate links in the video description and on our website for either Current Connected or Signature Solar. If you look at getting them from either of those places, it doesn't cost you anything, but it does help out the channel here. And so we do appreciate that. If you do use that, we did have somebody within the last day or so, I think, use that. One of those affiliate links. I won't mention names, but thank you. Thank you for the one that did that. It does help us out a little bit. So, so we've got 9 minutes left in the stream, which again, we've gone through this really fast. I do want to take the last couple of minutes and ask you guys in the comments, what kind of topics do you want us to bring up, to talk about? Maybe bring somebody in to talk about if we have no clue about, what the topic is. Like, for instance, the solar panel topic we had a few weeks ago that came in. We actually had Dexter from Current Connected come in. In the past, we have had Logan from Midnight come in to talk about grounding. What kind of topics do you guys want to have us talk about? So drop that into the comments. Let's preface it with TTT so we can have topic. If you've got something that you'd like talked about in a future video, just put it as a TTT and that'll help us see, even if we don't get to it tonight, what to look forward to. Because
I would say even
sometimes go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, even if it's like a company or someone you guys know that you're like, this person would be awesome on the show. They could talk about certain things, or this company has really cool innovative tech. If a bunch of you guys reach out to them and say, y'all should be on this podcast, we do try reaching out to companies, invite them on the podcast. Usually doesn't work. But if they start hearing from other people saying, we'd love to see you guys on the show, and there's a dedicated audience for what you have to offer, we'd love to have them on here. And then maybe we can figure out how to get them to maybe give something away, or, whatever it is, give you guys a discount, something. But yeah, that would be great if you know that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to bring yeah, you just saw I know what you just saw. This is why Eric and I just started laughing. The topic on free giveaways, maybe a $25,000 one.
Rodney's $25,000 giveaway.
I mean, I've tried to get panel mount companies to come on to talk about their different mounting options. I mean, we've had multiple solar and inverter companies on. So
yeah, half the reason we went to RE Plus was to try to get people on this podcast, and we showed up getting zero. I mean, it just it's tough.
Well, to be fair, we talked to quite a few of them, and they said they were interested, and it just kind of fizzled out from there.
Yeah,
because we had a few battery companies that we were going to try to get on to talk about their different offerings and stuff like that. So yeah, here you go. That would be interesting. Next week's highest production gets to co-star on the live stream.
Nice. It'll be Rodney or Mike.
Yeah.
Well, Rodney gets to co-star.
Let's see here. I'm just trying to see what we've got in here. So let's see here. So some suggestions, and maybe this will jog the creative juices for somebody else's idea. But somebody wants heat pumps. Let's see here. AC coupling. I get a lot of questions on AC coupling.
Hmm.
And I mean, the only things that I've been able to do with it here is just my little Frankenstein attempts. Let's see here. Mike G. Talk about his high voltage system. We already looked at color makers. We'll do the $25,000 giveaway if Color Maker is sponsoring it.
There we go.
Jamal says virtual power plants. It's interesting. 007 for God. What other things have you implemented to help reduce your current draw now that you have solar? Heat pump integration to the current central AC system. He wants to do an add-on. So there's a handful of mini split and heat pump ideas. Say Grace says optimizers and data logging and array far from the house. Say Rodney has some optimizers, doesn't he? Maybe no, he put them on his folks' house.
Yeah, I'll have a video
you did
coming
them on
out
Mitch's,
pretty soon on that. Yep.
Okay. Let's see. We saw that one. My topic of choice is sharing different ground mounts for solar panels. Send in your pictures. I think we did that one, didn't we? In the past?
Pretty close. I don't know that it was a dedicated show for that, but it
ended up being a lot of pictures of ground mounts and installs and
in fact, I'm pretty sure Engineers Love Change. He was the one who had the array on wheels or big old casters, right?
To be honest, they all start to blend together. Unfortunately, my memory is not good enough to be able to remember some of these pros and cons of inverters, batteries, charge controllers, etc. This would be a fun one. Unplugging to see how long you can go without electricity. Not necessarily how long can your solar last, but how long can you go without electricity?
Like unplug it all.
Yeah.
Flip the breakers in your house.
That would be, when you work on a computer all day long, sometimes you just want to flip that switch and turn it off.
Yeah.
Get the DC generator guy in. Another one, the fuel cell company, and a third one, showcase inverters like the Anenji. I haven't heard of that one before. Let's see. There's another mini split one.
Has an inverter now and batteries and stuff.
Ken's got a good one. And I would love to find somebody that has knowledge of electrical code and the solar electrical code aspects. I mean, I know that I used to know what the numbers were for at least the areas to look in the book. But I know that none of us are experts in any of that stuff, but that would be a very good one if we could find somebody. Another AC coupling. Rodney wants to do an RE Plus meetup this year. and see if people are interested. I know we've talked about trying to do
Yeah, RE
some
Plus in
kind of live
Texas
show.
this week.
Yeah, let us
I
know how that
just
one
found out about it.
goes.
No, I'll actually not be able to make it. I was kind of hoping to. I got the email today. I'm like, what? I didn't even know this was happening. And I looked at the date. No, it's like next week.
Let's see here. Last couple ones, using batteries from different manufacturers, how to combine them together. I think
Yeah, we've got a little bit of that. I
think
don't
yeah,
think we've done a
between me and
dedicated
Rodney,
show.
we might have I think Rodney might have the most just different interconnected batteries on that
Yeah, I
one.
only have
But
3.
I have a lot. I just don't know how many. And then AliExpress and Alibaba inverters.
Ooh. Hmm.
That one would be that one. You could get some sketchy stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
some of that stuff I don't know that I would necessarily trust to run my house, but uh, let's see here. Hopefully, Ambition Strikes gets back to us. Yeah, I need to. Now that we're in the new year, I need to see if they're done working on their boats and their uh, different major projects, and see if they could spare an hour sometime. But yeah, I've chatted with Riley a couple of different times through email, and nice guy, but always helpful, always willing to respond back. So yeah, Grace, I'd love to meet up with some others and help build someone's system like an old school barn raising.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun. And then 007 for God says live in person at Rodney's house. Better watch out. I mean, I guess he's past the septic problem, so he
That's
wouldn't
right.
give
He
us
can
all
handle
shovels to
all the
dig it
extra
all out.
flushes.
Well, I appreciate everybody giving us some ideas on different topics. We can actually go back through later and see what some common suggestions are, and see if we can bring some folks in just to talk about different topics, different aspects of this massive. I mean, you can call it a hobby because it really is. Of the solar world that we're all a part of. And I also want to thank you guys for, sharing your thoughts and even how you went through your own systems and decided, do I DIY? Do I pay somebody else to do it? And then why? Because we all have different areas, different experiences, and we're just trying to share whatever knowledge we have to maybe help somebody out down the road. So, since we are past time, and I'm going to try and not let us get super far past time like we were last time or 2 times ago or however many times ago, I'm just going to shut up and hand it over to Eric and let Eric wrap up how he sees fit.
Well, Adam, thanks for pushing the buttons and leading the show tonight. Really appreciate that. I don't have a whole lot to add to it. This was fun. I think we're all here because we all have a passion for DIY. It's a fun way to do things, and we enjoy it. But yeah, as far as things coming up on my channel, I've got a video that I'm uploading as we speak. Well, not as it's paused, but it'll be uploaded, probably published tomorrow, on some improvements to the property, some homestead projects on East Texas Homestead. And then I've got some more stuff coming out on the, I guess, would the solar trim around that'd be kind of an interesting one. We haven't really talked about this much, but the little skirt that goes around the bottom of your roof mounted arrays, if you've got one, keep the rodents and
Oh,
stuff out. So just installed some solar trim this week, so I'll be putting out a video on that. And it's actually really nice stuff. I'm impressed. So that's kind of what I've got going on. And then I will be out most likely this next week from the live show. So I'll be back in 2 weeks. But I believe Rodney and Adam, you guys will both be here next week, right?
Should be.
Okay. That's all I got.
From my aspect, I have worked on another video on the Anchor Solix. What do they call that? The smart inlet panel. Kind of doing the whole mind dump like I did with the E10 system, all the little things that I've learned since installing it. And the biggest thing was when I first saw that box and I saw the paperwork on it and how it was supposed to connect, I thought, what's the point?
Mm.
Because it did not make sense to me. And hopefully in the video, I'll be able to answer why I finally realized it really is a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
Mm.
At first, I thought it was just another transfer switch, but it's a lot more than that. So I got to work on editing all the footage down for that. If I am lucky enough, maybe it'll come out this weekend, maybe, but I'm not holding my breath. So thanks everybody for joining us. It's always fun. You guys make this what it is, because without you guys in the chat, we'd just be two random people just talking to each other, really. So you guys help take these conversations in fun directions to where we can all learn. So we'll be here next week, same time, same place, 8 o'clock Eastern. Y'all stay safe, stay warm, and we'll catch up with you later.